Okay, so the taxis in Singapore, let me tell you about the transportation in Singapore. One of the most mind-blowing things to me about the taxis and the Ubers in Singapore is when you pay them, like they can actually tell you no. So when it's time to go, like it's time to go to work in the morning if you need to ride a taxi or Uber, or it's time to come home, you actually might call them at, let's say, a taxi stand or something, and they actually will ask you, where are you going? And they will tell you no. No, not on my way home. No, not going there. They will actually yell at you sometimes. I've gotten yelled at in a taxi cab because I got in the cab and told them where I wanted to go. Mind you, I'm paying them. And they didn't want to go where I was going. So they get really angry at you because they don't want to go out of their way to drive you sometimes. So one of the things that used to really frustrate me sometimes is like when a taxi cab driver was really rude, but more so when they would kind of misrepresent like the time and information that they were giving me. And so this is kind of embarrassing, but yeah, so I would often like get really irritated depending on what it was. And I didn't feel bad about it because I felt like they were being dishonest and just purposely like misrepresenting something. So if that was the case, I would feel really inclined to just point out that they are misrepresenting it because I'd rather be told the truth. And like it was one day I was sitting in a taxi cab and I had this long ride. So the drive to my work was probably like 30 to 45 minutes, depending on traffic. And this one driver was just like, I got out of the car, and before I ended, she just like really honestly was like thanking me from the bottom of her heart because if I'm not getting upset with the driver for lying to me, I'm usually just talking to the people and wanting to hear their story. And she was just so touched and thankful that I was just riding in her cab. And she said, you totally made my day because I just so enjoyed you like being in the car and like talking to me and listening to me. And I remember it was like that moment where I was like, oh yeah, like I do have the ability to make people feel good by just listening to them. And I genuinely enjoy hearing people's stories and being present for them. And it was such a punch to my gut because it's like if I have the ability to make people feel good just by like being in a car with them, asking them about their life and listening to them, which I genuinely do enjoy, like why would I not do that all the time? And it was like that moment that it literally shifted like my whole being and my mentality around like when I'm around people in like taxi cabs in that situation, but like also like where was I showing up that way in other parts of my life that I get to show up differently. So that was my big epiphany for me, and that really changed my life.